In 1932, the Australian government faced a problem so bizarre. It sounds like the plot of a comedy movie. Their enemy? Not another country. Not an uprising. It was emus. Yes, giant, flightless birds. What followed was one of history's strangest and most hilarious military campaigns. The Emu War. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a story that will leave you scratching your head and laughing out loud. The time Australia lost a war to emus. Let's break down this tale of failed strategy, stubborn birds, and a lesson in nature's resilience. Picture this. It's the early 1930s. World War I veterans in Australia are given farmland in Western Australia as part of a government settlement program. Sounds great, right? Well, it wasn't. By the Great Depression, wheat prices had crashed, leaving farmers struggling to survive. And then, enter the emus. Now, emus are no ordinary birds. They're giant, they're fast, and in 1932, around 20,000 of them decided to turn farmland into their personal buffet. They trampled crops, broke fences, and devoured everything in sight. To the farmers, these emus weren't birds. They were feathered invaders. The farmers were desperate, so they turned to the Australian government for help. And the government's solution? Call in the military. Yes, someone in Canberra thought it was a good idea to send soldiers armed with machine guns to fight a bunch of birds. And this is where things go from bad to downright ridiculous. The military deployed Major G.P.W. Meredith and his men, armed with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Their mission? Defeat the emus and save the crops. What could go wrong? The first encounter happened in November 1932. The soldiers spotted a group of about 50 emus and set up their machine guns. They opened fire, and the emus? They scattered. The soldiers barely hit a single bird. These birds were like, "Oh, you have guns? Cute." The emus quickly split into smaller groups, zigzagging through the fields like they were training for the Olympics. Meanwhile, the soldiers looked like amateurs in a slapstick comedy. Not ones to give up, the soldiers tried again a few days later. This time, they set up an ambush near a dam, where hundreds of emus were gathered. Sounds like a foolproof plan, right? Wrong. Their machine gun jammed after a few shots, and once again, the emus escaped. At this point, you have to wonder if the emus were laughing at them. These birds weren't just fast, they were tough. Major Meredith even said that some emus could take multiple bullets and keep running. They were like the Terminators of the bird world. Over the course of the campaign, the soldiers reportedly killed about 900 emus. But here's the thing, there were 20,000 of them. Meanwhile, the soldiers wasted over 2,500 rounds of ammunition, and more importantly, their dignity. Let's break it down. The emus wins? They avoided capture, kept munching on crops, and humiliated the Australian military. The soldiers wins? Well, they proved that machine guns aren't effective against emus. Not exactly a victory worth bragging about. In December 1932, the government officially called off the operation. Major Meredith and his men withdrew, defeated by birds. Over time, farmers turned to more practical solutions, like building fences to keep emus out. And thank goodness for fences, because declaring war on emus didn't exactly pan out. The Emu War has since become a global joke, a reminder that sometimes nature wins. Today, the Emu War is remembered as a quirky piece of history, but it's also a lesson. It shows the challenges of balancing human needs with nature and the sheer resilience of the animal kingdom. So, what do we take away from this story? First, don't underestimate emus. Second, maybe leave the machine guns at home. And third, if you ever lose a battle, just remember, at least you didn't lose to a bunch of birds. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this wild tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves history or birds. Let me know in the comments what you think. Could you have done better than Major Meredith? See you in the next video.